Hopefully, as everybody's coming in the room, they are able to hit that like button. I so appreciate it. Let me remove our Tupac information and let's get back up our objection and our information for our trial that we are currently in. We are in the afternoon session of this trial. Let me see. Oh, that's not it. Okay, so there we go. First, that. Okay, let me get us into the courtroom so we can get started with this. Try to move us along. We have our detective, our officer that's back on the stand. I'm going to put our speed at 1.25. And let's see what we got here, guys.
Context. I've been trying to go chronological. I asked you about January 5th, then I asked you some questions about January 25th. You recall that?
Yes, sir.
And just so the jury can understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, I'm not just picking random days, correct?
That's correct.
Those are days that you thought had evidentiary value, then you provided evidence to the FBI, and then they mapped those dates, correct?
Those were dates that we found stuff of evidentiary value that was provided to the FBI.
Exactly what I said, right?
Basically.
And those are the dates that I've chronologically gone through, correct?
Yes, sir.
So far I haven't skipped anything.
That's correct.
The next date is January 29th.
That's correct.
Right? So that's where we're at now. So January 29th was a Saturday, correct?
I don't remember exactly what day it was. What day of the week it was, I apologize.
Okay. Any reason to dispute that it was a Saturday?
No.
Certainly, as you sit here as the lead detective in this case, you don't think it was a Wednesday?
No.
You haven't correlated like January 29th was a Wednesday, the homicide was a Wednesday. You take my representation it was a Saturday?
Yes.
Certainly the government, if they find out I'm wrong, they can jump up and correct me, right?
Correct.
All right. So on the 29th, and I'm not going to go through all the detail. I understand Agent Blythe will tell you, this jury, what all these slides mean, but you're familiar generally what happens on the 29th, correct?
Yes.
All right, so let's walk through what happens on the 29th. Mario Fernandez, through his cellular data and timing advance records, which I'm going to save all for Agent Blythe, a way of tracking people, correct?
Yes.
Mario Fernandez goes from his home in Jacks Beach on the 29th over to the Potomac residence, correct?
Yes.
Now, one of the things I've spoken to you before, and you made it pretty clear this morning on what you're comfortable doing and what you're not comfortable doing, is whether Mr. Fernandez and Mr. Tenon are actually there at the same time and get there and are together before Mr. Tenon leaves Potomac. That's something we should save for Agent Blythe, correct?
He would be better able to explain the records to you, yes.
I appreciate that. But generally speaking, you agree with me that the records show that on January 29th, Mario Fernandez went from Potomac and he went from Marsh Inlet in Jacks Beach and he drove to the rental property that he owns at Potomac.
According to the slide, he is at what looks like to be Potomac.
But you know that he got there by going from his house, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, generally speaking, we know on that day that, well, generally speaking, you're not tracking people, correct? T-Mobile doesn't have a chip inside of Mario, correct?
Not that I'm aware of.
They're tracking devices, correct?
That would be a better question for T-Mobile. I'm not sure what they do in track.
I wasn't asking what T-Mobile was tracking. You, giving information to the FBI, you're tracking. These slides are tracking devices, correct?
These slides are based off of records that we've received from T-Mobile.
From the device?
Some of them from the device related, some of them from correlating cell towers.
I'm really not trying to play gotcha detective. They take the information that the device has timing advance records, via geolocation, whatever the case may be, and then it tells you where they believe that device to be, correct?
That's correct.
And if it's geolocation, it's more precise than, for example, timing advance records, correct?
Yes.
And I said, I'll let Agent Blythe go all into this, but just generally speaking, these maps are tracking where individual devices that are associated with known people go, right?
Yes.
That's as basic as I can say, and you'll agree, right?
Yes.
So on this day, when I say Mr. Fernandez went from his residence to Potomac, the information is that his cellular device went from that residence to Potomac, correct?
Correct.
All right. You've said in previous affidavits, and you know that studies through all of your training experience have shown, is that people are generally within arm's distance or wingspan of their device in this modern era, correct?
Generally speaking, yes, that is true.
Right. So when I'm asking you questions about the 29th, I'm asking you questions about where an individual's device is, and then the jury can make a decision as to whether the person was there or not there, right?
Yes.
In this particular case, we know that around 2:02 in the afternoon on that Saturday of January 29th, 2022, Mr. Fernandez's device arrives at Potomac, correct?
According to the slide, yes.
Is there any other slide that you'd like to see that would give any other contrary information?
No.
And you, of course, have reviewed these slides before.
Yes.
At the top, 904-566-2633, that's Mr. Fernandez's device phone number, correct?
Yes.
And at 2:02, in the area of the Potomac residence is where his device is.
That's correct.
Now, that device stays at Potomac until approximately, we'll go to a slide where we can get exactly where it is. Just tell me approximately. So about 4:23, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You have no information that that device ever left Potomac between 2:02 and 4:23, correct?
Correct.
Let's talk about Henry Tennant's devices.
Okay.
Henry Tennant's devices around 2:02, and we're going to let Agent Blythe determine whether it's before that or after that, it leaves Potomac, correct?
Yes.
And Mr. Tennant's devices go all the way down in Nocatee in the area of where the victim lives, correct?
That's correct.
It drives around the gymnastics location where the children are, correct?
That's correct.
It then heads from that area over to the area of sanctuary where this homicide occurred.
Correct.
Then it goes from the area where the homicide occurs back to Potomac, correct?
Yes.
In defense's opening statement, we told the jury that Henry Tennant murdered Jared Bridegan. Did you know that?
Only as of this morning.
Detective Johns, that evidence of what Mr. Tennant, the person who the defense is conceding is responsible for this homicide, went to an area where he otherwise doesn't normally go, correct?
That's correct.
That was evidence that suggested to you that that had something to do with this homicide, correct?
That's correct.
It then went to the actual homicide location, correct?
Yes, sir.
Henry Tennant was actually seen on video at the homicide location the night of the homicide, walking away from the homicide, correct?
That's correct.
So on the 29th, Henry Tennant's device, and by extension, the very concept that we just decided or agreed on earlier, is that most people are within arm's length of their device, correct?
Generally speaking, yes.
Okay. And that's why you believe Henry Tennant was with his device on that day, because he's with the device that goes to those locations, right?
Yes.
And then it leaves the homicide scene and it goes back to the Potomac area. No question, I think, in anyone's mind in this courtroom is that that had something to do with the eventual death and murder of Jared Bridegan, right?
Correct.
Okay. So now we know that Mr. Fernandez's device, and by extension of the studies, Mr. Fernandez's device is at Potomac. Mr. Tennant's device goes on this. If I called it a dry run, would you agree that that could be a proper term for this?
That was the term that was used, yes.
Okay. So I didn't make that up. The 29th, the dry run day, right?
Correct.
Okay. So now there are ways to determine if maybe someone isn't with their device, correct?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Okay. Let's say a device is pinging, or there are timing advance records that show a device is at Potomac.
Okay.
We'll use this very example that we're looking at right here. But then the surveillance would show that Mr. Fernandez is not at Potomac. That would be a way to determine if a person was not with their device, correct?
If we had surveillance, yes.
And that's my next question. You have no surveillance showing Mr. Fernandez with Mr. Tennant on that day, correct?
To be fair, we also have no surveillance of Mr. Tennant either.
Well, let's talk about what you do have. Because maybe someone could say, well, you don't have any surveillance of Mr. Tennant. You have license plate readers, right?
Yes, sir.
And you have license plate readers of Mr. Tennant's truck, correct?
That's correct.
So there was an independent way for law enforcement to go, we got Henry Tennant's devices traveling in this area that he shouldn't be on a location that's highly suspicious. And we have an actual picture of a truck registered to his father, his late father. That was independent evidence besides cell phone, correct?
Yes.
You don't have any independent evidence that Mr. Fernandez was with Mr. Tennant when Mr. Tennant did whatever he did on the 29th, correct?
That's correct.
You don't have a receipt where Mr. Fernandez purchased something outside the area of Potomac while his cell phone was at Potomac, correct?
Correct.
You said yesterday that dozens of swabs were taken of the inside of that blue truck, correct?
Yes.
The blue truck, by way of the license plate readers, is the vehicle that was used to go on that dry run, correct?
Correct.
There's not a single shred of evidence that puts Mr. Fernandez inside of that blue truck, correct?
There is no physical evidence that puts him inside the truck.
There's no DNA, right?
Correct.
There's no fingerprints, right?
Correct.
Mr. Fernandez at the time, from what we saw in the interview, he had long hair. It was up in like a man bun, correct?
From the time of the interview, correct.
At the time of the interview.
Yes.
2 weeks after the homicide.
Yes.
No way he could have grown that hair that quickly, right?
Probably not.
You're a detective. Use your detection skills. In 2 weeks before your interview, Mr. Fernandez had long hair, correct?
Yes.
Special vacuums were used to vacuum out the blue Ford F-150 to find hairs so they could test them, correct?
That's correct.
Not a single one of Mr. Fernandez's hairs were in that car, correct?
Correct.
Certainly there was no evidence that that Ford blue F-150 was cleaned. Like, you know, after a crime, some people may wipe out a kitchen floor or a vehicle or a handgun or whatever the case may be. That car was in pretty rough condition, correct?
When it was found months later, yes, that's correct. True, it was.
Didn't look like it had been cleaned out.
No.
Let's look at evidence that we do have. We just spent some time talking about digital evidence that would show that Mario Fernandez was at Potomac from 2:02 to approximately 4:23. That's what we talked about, right?
Yes.
Now, we certainly can agree that Mr. Fernandez owned that property, correct?
Correct.
We certainly agree that's a place where it's not he has a connection, a very big connection to that property, right? It's not unusual that a landlord would go to a place that he owned, correct?
Not unusual, no.
Let's also kind of revisit some of the history that we know about this case. It's the 29th, so it's one of the last days of the month, right?
Yes.
And it's also 2 days after and approximately 1 day before the new tenant, Mr. Ordway, is moving in, correct?
I know he moved in sometime in the month. I don't know exactly when.
It's the end of the month, and it's right in the middle of a transition of tenants, correct?
Yes.
The one thing we know for sure is it's 2 days after that lease was signed.
Correct.
And you know that all of the stuff that Mr. Tennant had when he was living there was moved into the garage.
Yes.
Because when you searched it, all the stuff you found was in the garage, correct?
That's correct.
It's not a foreign concept that the landlord may have gone to make sure all the stuff was put where it was supposed to go, correct?
That's correct.
And of course, it's not normal that a person would leave stuff there, except for in this scenario, as we talked about, Jeremy Ordway and Henry Tennant were close family friends.
That's correct.
What is a pole camera?
It is a camera that is put on top of a pole.
Pretty simple. And in this case, pole cameras are law enforcement tools.
Yes.
I'm sure it could be anybody, but when I say pole camera, I'm talking about the pole cameras that law enforcement used as an investigatory tool in the investigation of this homicide, correct?
Yes.
You guys put up pole cameras at Potomac.
Yes, that's correct.
You put up pole cameras at Marsh Inlet.
That's correct.
You put up a pole camera Where else is there a pole camera? I think in Orlando.
No,
There's another pole camera somewhere.
the one off of Beach Boulevard.
Okay. You guys put up a few pole cameras. I'm going to focus on Potomac for the moment, right?
Okay,
You didn't tell Mr. Fernandez that you put up a pole camera, correct?
correct.
They're done as a way of trying to find evidence. You don't put anybody on notice that you're doing that, right?
That's correct.
And in this case, you put up a pole camera sometime in August of 2022.
Yes.
Detective Johns, I'm going to represent to you that the defense in Exhibit 33, okay? Let me show this to you. Yeah, approach 7. You said I can move around, right?
Sure.
I approach?
Yes. What exhibit is that?
I said 33, but it's 31.
Okay.
Mistake. Sorry. Detective Johns, can you see defense 31?
Yes.
And this looks like a big old multi-terabyte jump drive.
Yes.
There's a plug that goes in the computer and there's a plug in the back.
Yes.
I'm going to represent to you that all of the poll cameras, for all of the months that it ran at every single location, is on this and it's in evidence by the defense, okay?
Okay.
So when I say I'm showing you some clips here in the next few minutes, I want you to know that if there's anything else that you think that they need to see, it's in evidence. They can look at anything they want. Fair enough?
Yes.
And then just so everyone understands how we're looking at this, this is defense 32, 33, and 34. Looks like a little jump drive,
Yes.
a little mini one of the big guys.
Yes.
And this has a number of clips from when you put up the poll camera where you captured Mario Fernandez at Potomac. Oh, we're going to look at it, but you understand that that happened, correct?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about, correct?
Yes.
So if we're trying to figure out if Mr. Fernandez would ever go to, well, let me back up. There is no poll camera on January 29th because that precedes the homicide, correct?
Correct.
So you don't know what Mr. Fernandez was doing because there's just no surveillance of it, right?
That's correct.
So one way in law enforcement is we look, I think you said yesterday there's victimology. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Victimology is looking sort of at the past to see if there's any connections, right?
Yes.
So one of the things that you said was, I'm looking to see if it's a random act of violence. I looked at the victimology to determine that it was or it wasn't, right?
Correct.
Well, in the same concept, in the same vein, if Mario Fernandez's device is at Potomac on the 29th, and we have to kind of determine, is that unusual? Is that common? When you put up that poll camera, that could help answer some of those questions, correct?
I don't understand.
Well, let's find out. Did Mr. Fernandez go to Potomac?
Yes, he did.
Okay, so let's look at Defense Exhibit 33. That's the little guy I showed you, right? Are you aware that Mr. Fernandez, when you put up the poll camera in August, in the first 30 days, there are 20 different times that Mr. Fernandez went to the Potomac address?
I'm not sure how many times he did or did not go.
Okay, when we see him on these videos, I assume you don't dispute the poll camera footage, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay. Now, one of the other questions is, why would Mr. Fernandez go to Potomac? So let me ask you some questions. Potomac had some disrepair, correct?
Yes.
Like we talked about earlier, you were able to confirm that Mr. Fernandez was engaged in working on especially those tile floors, correct?
He was making repairs to them.
No question about that.
No.
His bank records reflect that that's the case, right?
Yes.
The poll cameras reflect that that's the case, correct?
Yes.
Messages between Mr. Biggerstaff and others confirmed that that was the case?
Yes.
So what are we looking at here? Oh, I haven't published it yet. May I publish Defense Exhibit 33, and I'm starting with A, Your Honor.
Yes.
Can you see that, Detective?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay, can you pause it, Ms. Day? All right. Is this the poll camera located at Potomac?
Yes.
And is that the driveway leading to Potomac?
Yes, it is.
And when I say Potomac, we're talking about the residence that Mr. Fernandez owned. I don't need to keep saying the address, right?
Correct.
What kind of car or truck did Mr. Fernandez own in 2022?
Toyota Tundra.
What color?
It was white.
What do you see in the bottom right corner?
White Toyota Tundra.
That's the driveway of Potomac?
Yes.
Whose red car is backed up?
Mr. Ordway's.
The tenant.
Yes.
What time is it?
It is 7:45 a.m.
Okay. A little early in the morning.
Yes.
You learned, and if you can't remember, it may refresh your recollection, that Mr. Fernandez would come sometimes early in the morning, and depending on what work he was doing, he may come back multiple times in one day, correct?
Yes.
In order not to bore everyone to tears, I'm going to scroll forward, okay?
Okay.
If at any time,
Sir,
I'm sorry. I don't want to do that. Let me start over. We're going to scroll forward a little bit, okay?
Okay.
If at any given time you think I'm scrolling forward and missing a fact that you think is important, will you agree to tell me so I can make sure the jury sees it?
Yes.
Any reason to dispute that that's Mario Fernandez?
No.
You could see that someone got out and walked into the residence, correct?
I mean, I didn't see that specifically, but I don't doubt that he was there.
Can you look right? Oh, can you see right there?
Yes.
No reason to believe that's not Mr. Fernandez.
No.
Those are better views where you could really identify that was, in fact, Mr. Fernandez, correct?
Yes.
This is many months after the homicide, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Tennant has not been arrested yet, correct?
I don't believe so.
8/9/2022.
No.
Okay. But Mr. Fernandez is not distancing himself from the Potomac home, as far as you can tell, right?
No.
This was after the tire was collected, correct?
Yes.
Jeremy Ordway's home, he knows that law enforcement came and collected that tire.
Yes.
You can kind of see his man bun there. Detective?
Yes.
I think it skipped or looped, but Mr. Fernandez left. The vehicle pulls out. You don't dispute that, right?
No.
Do you want to see it?
No.
Pulling out? He was there approximately 20 minutes or so, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And that was on 8/9/2022. I'm now going to show you another clip from the same day. Defense Exhibit 33B. Thank you, Ms. Stifler. I really appreciate that. So, is it published? Yes. All right, same day, 8/9/2022, right?
Yes.
Same poll camera, correct?
Yes.
Same house, correct?
Yes.
2 p.m., 2:04 p.m., right?
Correct.
Mr. Ordway's vehicle still in the driveway.
Yes.
Pause. Okay. Mr. Fernandez's vehicle,
Yes.
this time, it has boxes of construction materials in the back, correct?
There are boxes of something in the back.
Okay. Push play. Well, let me say the boxes are consistent with the work that you knew he was doing at Potomac, correct?
Most likely, yes.
Thank you. Right, this time you can see Mr. Fernandez pulling out, correct?
Yes.
So he came back a second time in the day. Looks like 2 people got out of the vehicle. And all the stuff that was in the back of the vehicle is no longer in the vehicle when it pulls out.
That's correct.
Doesn't take rocket science to determine that they dropped off what they had brought over.
Correct.
I'm now going to show you a video from August 16th. It's about a week later, correct?
Yes.
Defense Exhibit 33C, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Detective Johns, same house,
Yes.
same poll camera.
Yes.
It's 8/16/2022,
Yes.
and it's 6:43 p.m.
That's correct.
Jeremy Ordway's vehicle is in the driveway.
Yes.
There's a white Crown Vic in the driveway.
Yes.
Tell the jury whose white Crown Vic that is,
Mr. Ordway's father,
and who was known to drive that vehicle.
Mr. Tennant.
Mr. Tennant had not been arrested yet, correct?
Correct.
Stop. A week later, and Mr. Fernandez's vehicle pulls up, correct?
Yes.
You're not disputing that's Mr. Fernandez.
No.
You're not disputing that there's more materials in the back of the car.
No.
The bed of the truck, excuse me.
No.
Those are consistent with the same type of construction material. Well, I'm not going to say, we don't know. Same boxes that were dropped off and unloaded back on August 9th, correct?
Yes.
Pause it. There's a black dog. Do you see that?
Yes.
Tell the jury whose black dog that is.
That's Mr. Tennant's dog.
That's the same dog that when Mr. Tennant was arrested was with Mr. Tennant, correct?
That's correct.
It's the same dog that we heard from Detective Burrell when Mr. Tennant got out of his car. He put a dog bowl down. You weren't in here, but I'm sure you know that from Detective Burrell.
Yes.
It's because Mr. Tennant had a little black dog, or a medium-sized black dog.
Yes.
No dispute, Mr. Fernandez got out of his vehicle?
No.
That is Mr. Fernandez.
Yes.
It appears Mr. Fernandez got a couple white bags out of the back of his cab,
Yes.
and he appears to be carrying those white bags into the Potomac rental property that he owns, correct?
Yes.
stop. All right, Detective Johns. That's Henry Tenen, correct?
Yes.
So on 8/16, some 6 months post the homicide, Henry Tenen comes out of the Potomac address home, and he's going to start unloading construction materials from Mr. Fernandez's truck and bringing him inside, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Fernandez is with Mr. Tenen. He hasn't distanced himself from Mr. Tenen, correct?
No.
They're on camera together.
Yes.
Mr. Tenen is doing something for Mr. Fernandez. I mean, he's laboring for him, correct?
Helping unload a truck at least.
You heard in phone calls and wire calls and Sonny Fong's call that Mr. Fernandez, according to Mr. Fernandez on the wire call, that he paid Mr. Tenen to do work for him, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And then, of course, unbeknownst to what he said on a call, you have no reason to believe Mario Fernandez knew that his phone was being tapped on that T9 wire you talked about yesterday, correct?
I don't have any evidence that he knew.
And you have no evidence to believe he knew he was being recorded here, correct?
No.
Can you stop it? We have a new character I'd like you to introduce the jury to,
I believe that's Mr. Ordway.
and that's the dog jumping up on Mr. Ordway.
Yes.
So this is now some evidence that when we see his car there, it's not some kind of ruse. Mr. Ordway is there because you see him there on the poll camera.
Yes.
You learned through this investigation that Mr. Ordway was a pizza delivery man.
That's correct.
Okay, and he worked typically in the evening hours, correct?
That's correct.
And that's Mr. Tenen unloading those materials, whatever they may be, from the truck.
Yes.
Now, again, we don't know by looking at it, but you do know at this time, this is when the text messages are flying back and forth about the tile, correct?
What do you mean?
The tile floor that needed to be done at Potomac.
Yes, sorry.
And then another little clue that we could look at is in evidence, the state put photos of Potomac and it needed tile flooring. It was ripped up.
Yes.
So there's text messages about tile work that needs to be done at Potomac. The pictures confirm tile work needs to be done at Potomac. And then you have this construction material in and around the same weeks of time that these conversations are happening. It's not a leap of imagination that those could be tile. It would be consistent that tile would be being dropped off, right?
That's correct.
And I'm not going to jump the gun here. I know this is exciting, but we're going to see tile work being done at Potomac on the poll camera. We're going to see a wet saw, right?
Yes.
You're going to see the water running down. That's going to tell us that they're doing tile work at Potomac, right?
I would assume so, yes.
All right. While we're watching this, for more context, this is 2 days before Henry Tenen gets arrested.
Yes.
And Mr. Tenen was arrested driving while license suspended or revoked. We heard that yesterday, right?
Yes.
And then there was some old shotgun that he wasn't charged with, but they ended up arresting him for, right?
That's correct.
And that was the white Crown Vic that he was pulled over in.
That's correct.
Mr. Fernandez leaves on that day. No dispute as to that.
No.
And the materials are gone.
Correct.
Now I'm going to show you Defense Exhibit 33D. This is August 17th, 2022. And that's 1 day later, correct?
Yes.
Not to be so redundant, but it's 7:48 in the morning, right?
Correct.
So we've seen him there in the evening hours, we've seen him there in the morning, and we've seen him there in the afternoon, correct?
That's correct.
It's Mr. Fernandez's truck, right?
Yes.
No dispute it's Mr. Fernandez.
No.
and no dispute that Jeremy Ordway's vehicle is parked in the driveway.
That's correct.
Now, on the 29th, you follow me? I don't want to be too confusing. The day that Mr. Tenon does whatever he does on that dry run, that would be an example of when Mr. Fernandez could be at Potomac and there not being a tenant there, correct? Because if Mr. Fernandez is with his cell phone, and the jury will make that determination, and Mr. Tenon is with his cell phone, then possibly Mr. Fernandez would have been at Potomac without the tenant being there, right?
It is possible that Mr. Fernandez would be at a rental property without the tenant being there, yes.
Okay, but now I just want to show you that we don't have to guess whether it's a possibility because we're going to see it. For the record, this is Defense Exhibit 33F if I do not say so.
Thank you.
Did you go too fast? That appeared to be Mr. Ordway walking by his vehicle?
I can't really tell.
Okay. Skinny white guy matching the description of Jeremy Ordway?
It's probably Mr. Ordway.
Looks like
It's probably Mr. Ordway.
And it looks like he was getting into the vehicle that you know Mr. Ordway to drive.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and at 8:09, 43 seconds, Mr. Ordway gets into his vehicle and he backs out and he drives away from the Potomac address. Is that a fair description of what you just saw?
Yes.
This would be an example of when Mr. Fernandez would be at the rental property while a tenant leaves and he remains, correct?
Yes.
Go forward. Okay. Up. In the very first video I showed you, we knew that Mr. Fernandez went to the property. We knew he stayed about 20 minutes, and then he left. Fair to say, I couldn't tell you what he was doing there, right?
Correct.
You couldn't tell me what he was doing there, correct?
That's correct.
Seems consistent that he goes there to do work or arrange for work to be done, but we didn't know that, right?
I don't know why he was there.
Right. But in this video, who just pulled up?
Bueller Air Conditioning.
Okay. So does that give you a clue that maybe he was there to meet a vendor who's performing work on the property?
That's a fair statement.
And in fact, when you went through Mr. Fernandez's First Choice Home Rentals business account, at the same time that this was happening, there was receipts from Bueller Air Conditioning, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And in fact, at some point prior to this, they had put in an entire new air conditioning unit at Potomac.
Yes.
And it was Bueller that put it in.
Yes.
So this all sort of makes sense, right?
Yes.
Here's that was the Bueller air conditioning man going in, coming out,
Yes.
doing work at the property.
Yes.
Here's Mr. Ordway, comes back to the property.
Yes.
Camera shows Bueller left,
Yes.
and shortly thereafter, Mr. Fernandez backs out and he leaves.
Yes.
Well, I guess he doesn't back out because he backed in, he pulls out.
Yes.
So in a situation where the jury may be left guessing what is going on the 29th, these, via poll camera, we can really deduce with evidence that Mr. Fernandez goes to his rental property for legitimate reasons, correct?
I I can say that these show that he does go to the rental property for legitimate reasons, yes. I don't think it's a representation of necessarily what happened on the 29th.
I know you don't want to believe that. I'm asking what these videos show as compared to there not being video cameras on the 29th, correct?
Just clarifying my answer.
Okay. So if I were to make an argument, well, maybe he went to his rental property, we now know, and there is no dispute, that he goes to this rental property, right?
No, that's not in dispute.
He's not an absentee landlord, correct?
No.
Okay. So now let me show you another video from Defense Exhibit 33F. We just did that one? No, I don't think so. And if it wasn't clear, there were no cameras at Potomac on the 29th.
That's correct, there was not.
Now, pause it. This is another poll camera from 8/27/2022 at 6:08 p.m. Okay? Same poll camera,
Yes,
same address.
yes,
What's important about this date is we can all agree Mr. Tenen has been arrested, correct?
yes,
And you don't dispute that although Mr. Tenen was arrested for a driving offense, law enforcement went to Potomac that day and spoke to Jeremy Ordway, correct?
that's correct.
Detectives from the homicide unit, Detective Cullen and your partner, Detective Lamont, arrived, and they told Jeremy Ordway that Henry Tenen was arrested in connection for the murder of Jared Bridegan, correct?
Yes,
Okay. So Mr. Fernandez, he knows at this point that Henry Tenen had been arrested in connection to the murder of his wife's ex-husband, correct?
I would assume so, yes.
Right. We have to assume that. And I'm glad that you agree. And yet, even with that fact, Mr. Fernandez doesn't distance himself from the Potomac address, does he?
No,
No, because this is... All right, pause. Detective Johns, let's introduce a new character to the jury. Whose vehicle is that?
I'm actually not sure whose vehicle that is.
I told you it was John Biggerstaff's vehicle? Is that
Oh, that's right, yes it is, I apologize.
okay? So we don't disagree, that's John Biggerstaff's vehicle, right?
Yes,
And again, you know, because of other investigative efforts, that John Biggerstaff was to perform tile work at Potomac. We've talked about that.
yes,
And now we see John Biggerstaff showing up at the Potomac address, right?
yes,
And if I didn't ask you, early in the video, you saw Mr. Fernandez. This time he parked on the grass.
yes,
So he's there as well.
yes,
And just so there's no confusion, can you see the black dog?
yes,
And you can see the Crown Vic, correct?
that's correct.
Can you pause it? Because it's important, but I want to make sure everyone understands the facts. Henry Tenen's in jail.
Yes,
They allowed him to park, instead of his vehicle being towed, someone took it and put it back at this address, right?
I believe Mr. Ordway came and got the vehicle.
Right. So just because we see the vehicle this particular time, we know Henry Tenen is not there.
That's correct.
And although we see his dog, we know he's not there because Mr. Ordway agreed to take custody and possession of Henry Tenen's dog after he got arrested, right?
That's correct.
Just another little piece of proof that they were friends, right?
Yes,
And Judge, if we could just get through this video, if that's a natural break for you, you told me at 2:15.
Yes, but before we do, I want to check in with you all for scheduling purposes.
Yes, ma'am. I was just giving you a heads up. I'm okay if you want to at the end of this video.
Okay, thanks.
All right, before she puts play, can you see Mr. Fernandez?
yes,
Okay. So we saw him pull up earlier Then we saw Mr. Biggerstaff pull in, and then it looks like Mr. Fernandez got out of his car to go meet Mr. Biggerstaff. We can deduce that?
Sure.
Okay, this is well after the homicide, correct?
Yes.
Some argument is to be made that John Biggerstaff actually gave Mr. Fernandez a 10mm firearm to effectuate the murder of Jared Bridegan. If the government decides that they're going to make that argument, this video shows us that well after the homicide, Mr. Fernandez did not distance himself from Mr. Biggerstaff, correct?
That's correct.
Well, the jury is watching this. Your Honor, I'm sorry, can I just have a few more minutes after this video?
Yes.
There's a connected video I'd like to show. Scroll. You can see that that is in fact Mr. Biggerstaff.
Yes.
Approximately 7:04 p.m., Mr. Biggerstaff's vehicle backs out and appears to leave,
Yes.
and then shortly after, Mr. Fernandez leaves, right?
Yes.
I want to show you Defense Exhibit 32B. This is the following evening. This is 8/28/2022. It's 9:18 p.m., correct?
Yes.
And this poll camera ran continuously, correct?
Yes, it did.
It wasn't motion activated. It caught everything that happened at that residence.
That's correct.
Can you kind of scroll until Biggerstaff gets there? Okay. Pause it. Appears to be Mr. Biggerstaff is back, correct?
Yes.
Now, this video is about 3 hours and 20 minutes on 8/28/2022, right?
Yes.
You can see that by looking at the bottom.
Yes.
And this is the night that Mr. Biggerstaff goes over there and starts performing tile work, right?
Allegedly, yes. I mean, I can't see what he's doing, but
Well, we talked
whether
about
they
that.
spoke about doing tile work.
We talked about that wet saw, right? Right. Well, there's more videos, so let's break it down. You say you don't know what he was doing. Fair enough. I'll give you that. He meets up with. Okay, we can agree that you don't know what he was doing there that day.
No.
It's the day after he met Mr. Fernandez at the property, correct?
Yes.
They appeared to have a meeting in the driveway where they were talking, correct?
Yes.
The next day, Mr. Biggerstaff shows up, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Fernandez does not show up, correct?
That's correct.
So whatever Mr. Biggerstaff is doing at the Potomac address, he's not doing it with Mr. Fernandez, correct?
That's correct.
to now show you a video after midnight, the same time that he's there, Defense Exhibit 33G. It jumped like 20 minutes. Did you do that on purpose? Can you see the bucket?
It's hard to make out what it is, honestly.
Trying to speed this along, but would you like to watch more to determine if you can see if that's a bucket and that there's water all over the area where they're working?
It appears to be a bucket, and it appears that there's water on the ground.
Okay. And that would be consistent with the tile work that we talked about using a wet saw, right?
Yes.
Stop. Can you see Mr. Biggerstaff dumping the bucket now?
Yes.
You can see all the water coming out.
Yes.
A moment ago, you said, well, I don't know what he's doing there. Now we have some idea what he's doing there, right?
At least parts of it, he appears to be using a wet saw.
He appears to be working, right?
Yes.
Good scroll. Now, at this point, you can see water that's now dripped all down the driveway, right?
Yes.
That was not there before, correct?
Correct.
And if we sat there and we watched this entire thing, you would see the progression of water from where Mr. Biggerstaff is working, pouring into the street, right?
Yes.
And then Mr. Biggerstaff leaves.
Yes.
Your Honor, this would be a natural breaking point if
Okay, let me just see the lawyers at sidebar. So members of the jury, we're going to take, let's do 10 minutes, and then I'm going to take another really short break because I think maybe from the state's perspective, there will be some setup. Is that right? Right, okay. So we'll take 10 minutes now, okay? And then I'm going to give you another shorter break to set up for setup purposes, okay? So we'll come back at like 2:32, okay? Leave your notepads on your chair, please. All right, please let the record reflect that the jury's left the courtroom. Detective, you can take the break, okay? And I will tell you that because of scheduling, I'm gonna tell the jury when they get back, we're gonna pause your cross-examination and take a couple of witnesses out of order and then continue your cross-examination, okay?
I'm sorry, Judge. I thought you were going to let me finish my.
I am.
Oh, I didn't. I'm sorry. I wasn't
No,
paying.
I'm sorry, like, we're gonna come back, he's got some more questions, we're gonna pause it, and then, because of some scheduling issues, okay? All right, so, just follow the rules over the break. All right, everyone, the court's in recess.
Hello, sir. My name's Alam Mizrahi. I'm an assistant state attorney. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me, sir? All right. If you can hear me, say yes.
So I do have one thing to say. Like, okay, so tomorrow I am gonna do the LC trial only because it's coming close to closing arguments. I would like to see closing arguments and see what the state is gonna have for rebuttal. I know we didn't get through all our testimony today, so my plan is to start a little earlier tomorrow, just so you guys know. So that would probably be good for my East Coast people that's up. You know what I found? I seen on, I won't even go into that today because it's probably, I already made my comment on the feed, so I won't go on into it. But yeah. Sorry.
The house.
You don't recall that John Biggerstaff was frustrated that Mr. Fernandez was making him do it on his time schedule, and that's not what they agreed on?
That's correct. Actually, yes.
Okay, that did refresh your recollection?
Yes.
Thank you for acknowledging that. So, as it turns out, around this time, Mr. Biggerstaff and Mr. Fernandez stopped communicating and doing work together. That's what you learned.
Correct.
And consistent with what you learned through looking at text messages and, all those things that you were able to determine interviewing John Biggerstaff, you then know that on the poll camera, Mr. Fernandez starts coming to finish the tile work, correct?
I know he starts coming to the house.
Let's see what we can determine from the poll camera, okay? This is now August 31st, 2022, 11:50. This is the Potomac address, black dog, and a Mr. Ordway's vehicle in the driveway, correct?
That's correct.
Here's Mr. Fernandez shows up this day.
Yes.
You can see Mr. Fernandez there.
Yes.
Mr. Fernandez appears to be standing in the back of the bed of the truck, and he's looking up at the roof.
I see him standing in the back of the truck. I don't know what he's doing.
All right. Stop. Does he appear to now be on top of the car, staring at the roof of the home?
He is on top of the car staring at something. I can't say what he is or is it looking at.
Fair enough. If you were standing in front of Potomac, just because you've been there, correct?
Yes.
And the jury hasn't, you can see part of the house to the driveway to the right, correct? I mean, you can see the driveway to the right of Mr. Fernandez.
Yes.
In this particular setup, the house is on the side that Mr. Fernandez was looking at, not the other side of the driveway. And so the record's clear. The right side of the driveway, looking at this poll camera footage, has no house. The house is on the left side of the driveway, correct?
The driveway leads to the garage. The main structure of the home is on the left side.
So you understood my question and you agree with me?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Fernandez appears to leave the property, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you September 2nd, 2022. Defense Exhibit 33H. Pretty quick. Is it the pallet truck? I think we're close to that. No, that's September 4th. So the record's clear. This is September 2nd, 2022. This is 11:56 a.m. and Mr. Fernandez appears to be showing up at the rental property.
Yes.
You agree with that?
Yes.
so far, everything I've showed you is within the first 30 days of you putting up this poll camera, correct?
Yes.
12:16 approximately, Mr. Fernandez appears to be leaving the rental property, correct?
Correct.
Okay, now I'm going to show you 33I. It's the same day, correct?
Yes.
The video I showed you before was a different time, but it was 9/2, September 2nd, 2022. This is a little bit later in the afternoon, correct?
Yes.
It shows Mr. Fernandez showing up again, correct?
Yes.
Without going into the specifics of some of those other days that I talked to you about, and some in which we haven't gotten to yet, January 5th, January 25th, January 29th, February 15th, February 16th, some of these important days that are days that you were investigating. We talked about that earlier, correct?
Yes.
One of the things that you know Agent Blythe is going to testify to is that on certain days, you have Mr. Fernandez, by way of his cellular device, going to the Potomac address more than one time, correct?
Yes.
For example, on February 15th, he goes there in the morning, and then on February 15th, his cellular data shows that he goes back in the afternoon, correct?
I'm going to let Agent Blythe answer those questions. I don't know what he is or is not going to testify to.
Fair enough. I'll show you the slides from that day, and then you can tell me with your CAS training if it shows Mr. Fernandez going twice. And I think we've talked about it before, and you let me know, okay?
Okay.
Again, while Mr. Fernandez is there, Mr. Ordway's vehicle pulls out and leaves, correct?
That's correct.
Doesn't appear to have any other vehicles in the driveway besides Mr. Fernandez, correct?
That's correct.
Another example where Mr. Fernandez may be at the residence while the tenant is currently not there, correct?
Correct.
And in this daylight video, you can see that orange bucket in the near location by the door to the residence, correct?
Yes.
Go to the next one. And Mr. Fernandez's vehicle leaves, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to show you the next numbered 33I. It's the same day. It's at 8:31 p.m., correct?
Yes.
Okay. And again, Mr. Fernandez's vehicle shows up. Can you see the truck bed?
Yes, I can.
Okay, forward. Looks like Mr. Ordway's vehicle is there.
That's correct.
So your poll camera evidence, Mr. Fernandez going 3 times in one day on September 2nd, 2022, correct?
Yes.
Next, I'm going to show you 33L. This is now September 3rd, the next day at 1:55 p.m.
Yes.
Mr. Fernandez pulls up.
Yes.
You can see Mr. Fernandez there briefly.
Yes.
Nine three, Mr. Fernandez leaves, correct?
Yes.
I'm going to show you September 5th, 2022, 33M. Okay, I'm gonna go back to 9433L. Okay, so in this particular video, at 1:18, while Mr. Fernandez is there, do you see a trailer pull up?
I see a trailer in the frame, yes.
And what's stacked in the back of that trailer?
Pallets?
Okay, and that was the business, although Mr. Tenon has been arrested, that's the business that Mr. Tenon was in, the pallet company, correct?
He worked at Monison Pallets.
Right? And through your investigative efforts and all the evidence that's been admitted by the state attorneys, Mr. Tenon was interested in starting a pallet business. You learned that, correct?
He did have some interest in starting a business, yes.
Okay. And then you were able to look through some of the paperwork that you found in his possession, correct?
Yes.
You found ledgers that indicated that he had detailed notes about costs and pallets and things of that nature?
I know he had the notebook that you're holding in your hand that had some figures in it.
Okay. That's one of the notebooks that had figures, but this, just for the record, where did I pull this out? It's from States 197. And I'm looking at a composition notebook.
Is that 197? Okay.
Okay, so some of the photos that aren't contained in this, that you reference, which are other ledgers and things of that nature, are also contained in States Exhibit 197, okay?
Okay.
But I'm holding up what was also pulled as part of that composite of States 197, a blue composition notebook. And publish that. I'm showing you what's on approximately the third page of that States 197. Can you see that, Detective Johns?
Yes, sir.
It says business plan, right?
That's correct?
Name of business, colon, Tenon Pallet Recycling, period, correct?
Yes.
Location, colon, Drayton, Georgia, period, correct?
Yes.
Henry Tenon has connections to Georgia, correct?
Yes.
His family and his father live there.
That's correct.
Action number 1, collect pallets for repair and materials. See that?
Yes.
Truck and trailer needed for this action, period, correct?
Yes.
Number 2, repair pallets to be sold, correct?
Yes.
Air compressor, nail guns, staple guns. Those are supplies.
I would assume.
Number 3, dismantling pallets for materials, period. You agree if that's what it says?
Yes.
Mr. Tenon didn't write that since he's been in jail. You know that, right?
Correct.
So that was written prior to him being arrested, and this was found at Potomac, correct?
Yes.
So we don't have to guess whether Mr. Tenon, at least in his mind, wanted to start a pallet company, correct?
According to his notes, it seemed like he did want to start a pallet company.
He had a name for the pallet company, right?
Yes.
He had, albeit pretty simple, he had an action plan, right?
Yes.
Mr. Tenon wasn't an extremely educated person, was he?
I'm not sure of his education.
You're the lead detective in a homicide case where 3 people were arrested for a homicide. Any reason to believe Mr. Tenon had a college degree?
No.
He was a day laborer.
Yes.
Nonetheless, he had an action plan, he had supplies consistent with a business plan, and he had things that he wanted to do in order to effectuate a company with a name and a location. That we can determine from that composition book, correct?
He did have the notes in the composition book. I don't believe he had any supplies that I'm aware of.
He listed supplies.
Yes, he did.
I'll come back to that. I digress, but at 1:18, after he's arrested, on poll camera, a truck with pallets does arrive at the Potomac address.
There was a trailer with pallets in the frame.
Okay. Maybe it's not clear. Like I stopped it right when it was driving by. You want to see it so that you can see that it stopped there? So just back it up a little bit. Can you tell that I'm scrolling minutes and it's still there? You can't, it's okay.
Looks frozen on my screen.
Maybe it is. Let me see. Can you tell it's not frozen now?
Yes.
Can you tell that's not moving?
Yes.
Definitely stops in front of Potomac,
It would appear that's true, yes.
while Mr. Fernandez is there.
Yes.
Okay, go back. All right, stop. That orange bucket that we keep talking about, it was in the frame earlier, up in the top left corner, right?
Yes.
Now, you see Mr. Fernandez, he grabs the bucket, comes to the end of the driveway, and he dumps all the water, right?
Yes.
The same thing Mr. Biggerstaff did about the time he was leaving the Potomac address, correct?
Appears to be a similar action.
Okay. Where do we leave off? Then pull forward. And again, around 1:46, Mr. Fernandez leaves the property, correct?
Yes.
Exhibit 33M. For the record, Defense Exhibit 33M, Your Honor.
Thank you.
This is 9/5/2022, the following day, correct, Detective?
Yes.
Mr. Fernandez shows up, right?
Yes.
You can see his truck.
Yes.
Roll. That's at the end. Just take your time. Be patient. I think it's frozen. So try. One more try. It's in evidence. On 9/5, he's there and he leaves again. Is that correct?
Yes.
The following day, September 6th, Defense Exhibit 33N. Mr. Fernandez shows up, Detective.
Yes.
That orange bucket you can see moving in the corner again.
I haven't seen it move.
Jury can determine, I suppose. Maybe let it catch up and then scroll again. I'm just show leaving for him. Nonetheless, he's there, he leaves, correct?
Yes, sir.
Defense Exhibit 33O. This is the same day, 9/6/2022, but it's later at night, correct?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Fernandez arrives.
Yes.
I know we're going fast, Detective, but in the upper left-hand corner, can you see the bucket moving back and forth? It appears that work is being done.
I did see it this time, yes.
Try and move it along. You can see the bucket come into frame, you can see it come out of frame?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Try again. There it is. Okay. You see Mr. Fernandez in the bottom right-hand corner with the bucket, and he's dumping it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this is about 2 minutes before he leaves the residence. Detective,
He hasn't left yet. I'm assuming
I guess if you look at the bottom right-hand corner,
there's 2 minutes, 19 seconds left of the video.
all right, but in fairness, you don't know that I cut it where he leaves, so we can scroll to it. Understand. Right, he's now gone at 11:22.
Yes.
So he stayed there, and it looked like he was performing work for a couple hours.
Yes.
September 8th, 2022, Exhibit 33P. This is now in the morning, Detective?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Fernandez appears, his truck gets there around 10:30-ish.
Yes.
Easy to find that side. All right, there it is. See Mr. Fernandez again with the bucket coming out?
Yes, sir.
There seems to be a theme that Mr. Fernandez is going there and he's doing tile work, correct?
I can't say what he is or isn't doing inside the home. He is carrying a bucket over several repeated days in and out of the house and dumping some water.
We can't say, but with all the evidence that you have, it's not inconsistent with him finishing the tile work that John Biggerstaff is contracted to do, correct?
That's correct.
Move to Defense Exhibit 33Q. Timestamp it. All right, go ahead. In this video, is that Mr. Fernandez?
It appears to be him, yes.
Okay, it appears that he has a broom in his hand.
Yes.
He appears to be brushing the driveway.
That's correct.
We don't have to guess that he's doing some work at Potomac on this day. You can actually see it.
That's correct.
Because of the lumber. Were you able to see that he left on that particular day?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Detective Johns. Detective Johns, in evidence, if I represent to you that on September 11th, Mr. Fernandez goes back to Potomac, as seen on video, would you dispute that?
No.
If I told you on September 13th that he went back and he did that, would you dispute that?
No, sir.
I told you at the very onset of this exercise that in the very first 30 days that you put up a poll camera, Mr. Fernandez was at that home doing work 20 times. And did you see that when I showed it to you?
Yes.
Your Honor, we can take that pause if you'd like at this moment.
All right, members of the jury, because of some scheduling issues, we're going to pause Detective John's cross-examination, okay? He will retake the stand sometime later. So at this time, Detective Johns, again, I'm going to remind you of the rules that this court put into place, okay? And you may step down, and I'll be back with you shortly, okay? All right, members of the jury, we need just a moment to set up the courtroom, and I'll bring you right back out, okay? Leave your notepads on your chair. See the courtroom in full.
Yes, I can.
Okay. I'm ready if you all are.
I'm ready.
Both sides ready? Okay, let's bring in the jury, Mr. Holman.
To the stand,
All right.
virtually.
Okay. All right. Ms. Kudis, if you would please raise your right hand to be sworn in.
Ma'am, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, thank you. Ms. Before the state begins, members of the jury, Ms. Kudis, by agreement of parties, has been allowed to testify via remote technology. You are to accept her testimony as if she were here in the courtroom. And so before she begins her testimony, can all the jurors see Ms. Kudis on their screens? If you can answer out loud. Yes. Okay, perfect. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Kudis, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Could you please state your name for the record?
It's Taylor Alexandra Kudis.
And could you spell your last name for our court reporter?
It's Kutis.
And Ms. Kudis, what state are you currently living in?
I live in Tennessee.
And what do you do for a living?
I am a corporate sales trainer for a company called Corpay.
Are you married?
I am.
And what does your husband do for a living?
My husband is in active duty military. He's in the Army.
And do you know the defendant in this case, Mario Fernandez-Saldana?
I do.
On your Zoom screen, can you see Mr. Fernandez? And if so, could you please identify him by what color suit and tie he's wearing?
Yes, I can actually see the back of him. He looks to be wearing a gray suit with a white shirt underneath.
Okay.
I can see
And
the back of his head.
if you're looking, you can see the judge straight in front of you. Which side of the courtroom is he seated on?
He would be on my left, there, the judge's right.
May the record reflect the witness has identified the defendant.
Is that the only camera view you have, Ms. Kudis?
Yes, Your Honor. I can kind of see like above, so I can see the backs of like the defense, and I can, but
So
I can see you straight on. If that,
So she's not identifying by face?
I can see his face on my Zoom camera. That's why I asked.
is there another angle? Should I like click over to my different camera options to see? Okay. I can see him on the Zoom room camera 4.
Yes. Can you
in the
see
front.
his face on Zoom room camera 4?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Is that the person you identified as Mario Fernandez?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, it may reflect that.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And can you explain to the jury how it is that you knew Mr. Fernandez?
Yes. So I met Mr. Fernandez in 2013, 2015. I was in ROTC at Vanderbilt University, and we did a leadership training course in Fort Knox, Kentucky. And that is where I met him through that leadership training course. He was a drill sergeant at the time that we had that training.
And can you describe for the jury what the nature of your relationship was back in 2013 through 2015?
Yep. So we met at the training course, and then post training course, a lot of the cadets and then like mentors, drill sergeants, we stayed in touch, and so we kind of developed a friendship outside of that, and then we just kept in touch over the years through phone and email and text and all the things.
And you answered the next question I was going to ask, which is how did you keep in touch? You said phone, email, texting. Have you ever visited in person since 2015?
I believe it was in 2015 the last time I would have seen him in person.
How often would you two communicate over the years?
I would say over the years it was definitely intermittent. I was married previously, so every now and then we would like catch back up. But I would say frequently over the years, but then there would be periods of time where we did not.
I want to talk to you about your relationship via text and phone and email with Mr. Fernandez in 2021 leading into 2022.
Yep. So just to provide context, my oldest daughter is adopted. I adopted her. So she's my stepdaughter. And at the time, when we were communicating in 2021 leading up to 2022, we communicated via text regarding just different co-parenting communications techniques to like have conversations. He was really good at kind of helping me work through some of those things that I was experiencing. And so that was kind of like the nature of our phone calls and things like that, was to just chat through some of the things that we were kind of both going through, I believe, at the
So-
time.
Just to clarify, at that time, you were married to your husband, your now husband.
I was married in 2022, so it was kind of leading up to, like, we were talking in 2021 and then leading up to when I did get married to my husband.
And the co-parenting relationship that you had going on was with your now husband that you were dating and his ex-wife.
Yes, correct.
And Mr. Fernandez was, did he also relate to you that he had a similar situation and that his wife had an ex-husband and they were co-parenting as well?
Yes, that is correct.
Did he ever discuss with you his wife's ex-husband, the victim in this case, Jared Bridegan?
Yes, just at time, like briefly at times, I believe he would just discuss maybe different drop-offs, just different situations that they were kind of going through.
How did he describe the nature of their co-parenting relationship?
I mean, he definitely mentioned that it was high conflict, difficult at times, I believe.
Did he discuss his relationship at the time with his wife, someone who may be known to you as Shanna Gardner?
Yes, he did.
What did he say about his relationship with Miss Gardner when you were having these conversations in 2021 leading into 2022?
From what I remember, he said they were kind of, having some difficulties at the time, that maybe they weren't going to continue to be together, things of that nature.
Did he ever discuss with you his relationship with Miss Gardner's family?
I don't believe. Oh, yes, he did.
And what did he say? Maybe relationship's a strong word. Did he ever discuss Miss Gardner's family with you?
Yes, I believe he described his kind of his relationship with her as a contract between her parents that he had worked out with her parents, is what he referred to it as to me.
And when he mentioned that he had some kind of contract with her family, did he give any further details about what that could possibly mean?
No, he didn't really go into too much detail. He would just refer to it as a contract, and that was really all he said. Didn't give a lot more context to that.
Did you ask him follow-up questions about that?
I don't remember exactly if I did, but I mean, I think he was just a little mysterious about exactly what that meant.
You said he was mysterious about it. Did he ever make comments to you about skills that he had?
Yes, at times he would mention that maybe his Army experience, he had like a special set of skills, or just that he had maybe different types of training that he described, maybe he had, from his time in the military.
And you knew that he briefly served in the Army as well?
Yes, correct.
The things he said to you about his Army service, did they make sense to you given what you knew from your husband, who's still an active member of the Army?
He just was very vague about the specifics of it. I knew that he wasn't so for context, my husband is a Green Beret. He's in the Special Forces. His extensive training took almost 2 years to go through. So when I learned that later on, just kind of comparing, I don't think that he went through the same training to be a Green Beret specifically.
At any point during your conversations with Mr. Fernandez in 2021 into 2022, did you perceive that he was interested in starting some kind of romantic relationship with you?
Yeah, I definitely think that there might have been some underlying tones there to maybe feel me out, to see if there was any potential for pursuing something with me. That's how it felt maybe.
Did you relay to him that you would be interested in that type of relationship?
No, I was not interested. I think that is kind of what ultimately led to when we ended communication with each other.
When was the last time you spoke with Mr. Fernandez?
I believe, I don't have exact dates, but I know that it was sometime in 2022. Definitely February, March would have been maybe the last time that we would have spoken via phone. But again, I don't have exact dates.
That's fine. I'm not going to hold you to an exact date.
Okay.
We're not human calendars. I get that. When you spoke to him the last time or few times, did he ask to visit you in person?
He did mention visiting in person, yes.
And did you ever actually meet up with him in person?
No, we did not.
Did Mr. Fernandez in 2022 call you and tell you about the death of his wife's ex-husband?
Yes, he did.
Do you recall when he called you in relation to when the homicide occurred?
It was after he called me we were talking, kind of chatting, catching up about work. Can't remember the exact context of the beginning of the call. And then he said that he thought that the kid's dad had died, and he thinks that it was a hit and run, was what he told me specifically.
And do you remember how close in time that was? Was it the day after, a few days, weeks, months?
I believe that it was a few days after, but I'm not exact on that. But I know it was after it happened.
Did he give any more details other than it was a hit and run?
No, he did not.
Right. Thank you, Ms. Kudis. I don't have any further questions.
All right, thank you. Cross-examination.
Good afternoon, Ms. Kudis. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I just can't see you, so let me. Oh, there you are.
So let's back up a little bit. You met him in 2013, is that correct?
I believe it was around that time frame. Yes, sir.
And although you told the jury that you guys, kept up a little bit of a friendship, you didn't tell the jury that you actually had a little fling with Mr. Fernandez, a romantic fling.
We did have a fling back in, I guess it would have been that same time frame, 2013 to 2015.
Okay, and you would agree that's an important detail when the state then later asked you if he thought maybe he was pursuing you. You had a history where at one point he did pursue you, correct?
Can you ask that again? I'm sorry, I'm confused.
At one point in time, he did pursue you romantically, and it worked. And it worked. You were romantic with him for a brief period of time.
Yes, 10 years ago, yes.
And then later, he asked sort of again if maybe you would be interested, correct?
Yeah, I believe that was kind of what his underlying tone maybe was in some of our conversations, yes.
And that was after he told you that things between him and his wife had sort of run their course, right?
I believe, I can't exactly recall like the exact timeline of how it all played out.
All right, well, let's go back through some timeline. Mr. Fernandez told you that he got married. He didn't hide that from you, correct?
Yes, he did.
And you knew that he was married for years, correct?
Yes.
And during that time, in your on and off friendship, you were having some co-parenting issues in your own personal life, correct?
Correct.
So you would contact Mr. Fernandez, and you guys would talk about that, correct?
Correct.
He didn't just call you to gripe about Jared Bridegan, his current wife's ex-husband, correct?
No, that was not.
You would be griping, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. You would be griping about your personal step-parent situation, and then he would talk to you about it, right?
Yes, I believe that was kind of both sides of it.
And in fact, you thought he was a valuable resource because you would contact him to get advice from him, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk about this contract. Did you ever write any of this down, or is this all from your memory that he said something about a contract marriage?
This is all from just conversations that we had. It was not written down.
Right. So you're just recalling that he said something like this, but what you may or may not know, let me ask you, did you know that Mr. Fernandez was the trustee of the family trust?
I did not know that, no.
Did you know that Mr. and Mrs. Fernandez had a postnuptial agreement?
No, he did not refer to it to me as a post-nuptial agreement.
He may have referred to you as a contract, right? 'Cause that's the word that you seem to have remembered, right?
Correct.
A postnuptial agreement is just a contract between two people on how they're going to separate their belongings. You agree with that, right?
Correct.
Okay, and you can't recall as you sit here today the specifics of what he was talking about in that contract situation, right?
He never disclosed the specifics of the contract. He just referred to it as a contract and, again, was aloof with those details to me. So
Did you ever ask him what he was referring to?
I don't remember if I asked him specifically. I just remember he reiterated that it was a contract. That was the word that stuck out in my mind.
Gotcha. But as you sit here, you don't recall whether you even asked him what he was referring to, right?
I don't recall the specifics, no.
And you don't remember the specifics of your conversations with him. And I think you've, in fact, told me before that none of this is for verbatim, correct?
Correct. I think just the timeline and like the specifics of conversation, I can't remember exactly what was said and when.
Right.
For that specific conversation regarding the contract.
Because you had a lot of conversations with him and you just don't have a recollection. That's because you didn't write anything down, right?
I don't think I did write anything down, no.
So let's be real clear about another concept. Mr. Fernandez calls and he tells you that Jared Bridegan died, and you recall that he said something about a hit and run, correct?
Yes, he did.
But again, you don't remember that verbatim, correct?
I do remember that stuck out in my mind. I do remember that he said those words.
Do you know if Mr. Fernandez knew the details of the homicide at that point, 1 or 2 or 3 days after the homicide?
All he said was they think it was a hit and run. That's what stuck out in my mind.
Okay. Did you know that the person who's responsible for this homicide ran away from the scene?
I don't know really any other details. I haven't followed
Okay. But in
this
fact,
closely.
in this particular homicide, this jury has since learned that the person who shot Mr. Bridegan ran away from the scene. You didn't know that, did you?
I think I knew some of the details. I think I knew that there was another individual involved, but I don't know like the specific nuances of like
All right. So
how
let me,
it all played out.
and you know that not because Mr. Fernandez told you that. That's because you looked things up after Mr. Fernandez told you about Mr. Bridegan passing away or dying, correct?
I did look it up, yes.
Yeah. And you followed it in the media, correct?
Yes, I haven't followed it closely though.
All right.
Since, yeah.
But let me be real clear about this question. You never contacted law enforcement and said, you know what? I've read this stuff in the media. Mr. Fernandez told me some stuff about a contract and a hit and run. I think you ought to know that. That never happened, did it, Ms. Kudas?
I'm not sure I'm following what you mean.
Law enforcement contacted you, correct?
Yes, correct.
You never contacted law enforcement, correct?
No, I did not.
And when law enforcement finally did decide to contact you,
Mhm.
when they did, you have previously told me it wasn't because you thought it had anything to do with this case. You thought it had to do with a personal issue in your own co-parenting case, your own family law case, correct?
When they came to our house in North Carolina, I was not aware or sure what it was. I did think that it had to do with my husband's ex-wife at the time, just because we were kind of going through some high conflict issues.
And even after you looked up this case, you never thought Mr. Fernandez was a suspect.
Well, when they came to my house and they asked to interview me about him, that told me that he was probably, or I believe the terminology at the time was a suspect.
Yeah. That's when you learned it, which was many, many months after the homicide when they came to your house, correct?
Correct.
But you looked it up on the internet after Mr. Fernandez told you about the death of Mr. Bridegan, correct?
Yes, I think he told me as just like he passed, like he said it was a hit and run. They think it was a hit and run. Like, I don't think there was anything else to it than that. Like, so I looked it up after the fact to see what he meant, like what, if anything, was in the news about it. Like, I don't think that there was anything.
And despite all of
My
that,
intent.
before law enforcement came to your house many months later, you never considered him a suspect.
Grounds.
Sure.
What's your response?
It's literally your testimony. We need to approach the court reporter. I've asked this question before. I know the answer.
Okay, I'll hear you out. Is that bar?
Madam Court reporter?
May proceed.
Ms. Kunis, with all of the information that was provided to you from Mr. Fernandez, over all of the different conversations that you had, over all of the months and years leading up to the homicide of Jared Bridegan, you never thought to contact law enforcement and report any of those details to them.
I don't know what you mean. Like, what would I have reported to them? I guess I'm confused by your question.
You did not contact law enforcement and give them any of the details that you testified on direct examination to, correct?
No.
No, meaning that is correct. You did not contact law enforcement.
I did not contact them after he told me no.
Or any time until they came to your door, correct?
Correct.
All right, no further questions. Thank you.
Redirect.
Once again.
Ms. Kudis, when law enforcement came to your house, you thought it significant enough to tell them the information you've testified to today.
Yes, correct.
And just to clarify, you remember, you said specifically the word contract stood out to you, not a post-nuptial agreement, but the word contract.
Yes.
And you also specifically remember he said it was a contract with her family, not with her.
Yes, with her family specifically.
And he had this conversation in the context of also mentioning these special skills he had from his time in the Army.
Yes.
Yes. And when he described the death of his stepchildren's father, he said it was a hit and run, but did he ever tell you that Jared Bridegan had been shot and killed?
No, he did not. He just used the words, they think it was a hit and run. That is what stuck out in my mind.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Kudis. I have no further questions.
All right, thank you. Make sure you be excused. All right, Ms.
Yeah.
Kudis, thank you very much. I'm sorry?
Do I need to show my ID or anything, or?
Oh, no, you're fine.
All right.
All right, thank you very much. You can log
Thank you.
off. And State, you want to call your next witness? All right, Victor Cueras, we're going to allow him to go into the Zoom room. Members of the jury, while we are having him come into the Zoom room, the same instruction applies to his testimony by stipulation of the parties. The parties have agreed that he may testify via remote technology. If you would just give us a moment so that we can check the sound, okay? Mr. Cueras?
Yes.
Hello, I'm Judge Kite, okay?
Oh,
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Can the members of the jury see Mr. Cueras? If you could answer aloud. Yes. Thank you. All right, please raise your right hand to be sworn in.
Sir, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And can the defense see Mr. Cueras? Okay. All right. You may proceed.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me okay, sir?
Yes.
Could you please state and spell your name for the record?
My name is Victor Quiroz. It's Victor. Last name is Quiroz.
And Mr. Quiroz, can you see the various Zoom rooms on your screen?
Yes.
You can see more than one Zoom room.
Correct.
In any of those rooms, do you see an individual known to you as Mario Fernandez?
Cam 4, yes.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah.
Camera 4, and may the record reflect he's identified Mr. Fernandez.
Yes.
Mr. Quiroz, I want to talk to you about your relationship with Mr. Fernandez. Could you please tell the jury how it is you know Mr. Fernandez?
Well, I met him through a high school friend playing a video game online. So that's how we met, and most of our conversations have just been through video games online.
And what year did you meet him online?
It's hard to say. I think maybe 2010, or maybe around that time. Yeah, 2010.
Okay. And I'm asking you very few questions. I'm going to be asking you about an in-person visit you had with Mr. Fernandez in March of 2022. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And for our court reporter, because you're on Zoom, would you mind answering yes or no? Because it's very hard for her to type down mm-hmm or mm-mm.
Sorry, yes.
No problem. Thank you. Prior to the visit that I'm going to speak to you about, had you ever met Mr. Fernandez in person?
No.
And your contact, you said, was mainly communicating through video games. Can you describe for the jury what type of video games you're talking about?
I mean, since then it was mainly Destiny. We played a assortment of games. I mean, mostly Destiny, Apex, COD, whatever was popular at the time.
And these are games that allow you to play with other individuals who are logged into the same game and communicate via headset or chat feature or whatever.
Yes.
Okay. Was most of your contact with Mr. Fernandez through those video games?
I would say so, yeah.
Did you all text, email, or speak on the phone outside of the video game platforms?
Mainly through just Facebook Messenger. Like we would text each other, hey, who's on tonight? Stuff like that.
Drawing your attention to March 2022, where were you living at the time?
Still at my current address in Clinton, North Carolina.
Okay, and you don't have to put your address on the record, but you are in Clinton, North Carolina, is that what you said?
Correct.
And you were living in Clinton, North Carolina back in 2002?
Correct.
Did Mr. Fernandez...
2022.
Yes, sorry, 2022. Did Mr. Fernandez reach out to you in 2022 and arrange to meet up in person?
Not necessarily. I think it was like the weekend beforehand. He maybe like gave me a heads up. He was coming up north, and I kind of, said, hey, that's cool. If you need somewhere to crash out, I'm kind of on the way there. If it's not too far out your way, and It's pretty much. I mean, I don't remember what day it was specifically we met, but it was a weekday.
Did you know Mr. Fernandez was coming to visit you before he arrived in Clinton, North Carolina?
Like I said, the weekend prior, I think he did say like he was going to be in the area, so that was like the only notice I had received. Well, he had told both of us, me and my other people in the group chat there.
Mr. Quiroz, could you repeat the answer?
Yeah, no, it was just the weekend ahead or the weekend before he came was whenever I believe, texted and said he was going to be in the area or something like that. And I said, I'm working, but if we can work it out, you can stop by. Then just stop by. It's cool. It wasn't any problem with me.
Mr. Quiroz, do you remember giving a deposition in this case on Zoom?
Correct. Yes.
Do you remember being sworn in to tell the truth the same way you've been sworn in here today?
Yes.
And at that deposition, do you remember being asked questions by Mr. Fernandez's attorneys?
I don't know who's asking the questions, honestly, but yeah, I do remember some questions being asked.
Do you remember being asked previously if Mr. Fernandez had told you ahead of time he was going to be in Clinton, North Carolina?
Yeah, I don't think I mentioned it that time, just because I didn't. Like I said, it was hard to recollect, but kind of since then, I kind of been thinking back, and I believe he did text me, let me know he was coming ahead of time.
Ms. Stifler, can you refer to what page?
I haven't gotten there yet. Yep, just doing the foundational questions. So your testimony today is that you previously told defense and myself, and I will refer to your deposition.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Sorry, sir.
Oh,
Sir,
sorry.
hang on one second real quick. I got to let defense know what page I'm on.
I wanted to comment about that.
Hold on
deposition.
just 1 second.
All right, Mr. Quiroz, you said that
Yes.
you did not mention it at the deposition, but you remember today that he gave you a heads up he was coming to visit?
Yeah, and like I said, I want to comment on that deposition just because I just received it last night. I didn't really get a good chance to look over it. Like I said, I was told the last 3 weeks I was gonna get it sent. I never got it. I just received it last night. I mean, like I said, I was kind of been thinking ever since that day what exactly was said, but I can't remember. Like I said, I mean, like the deposition could be, um, you know, I don't know. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to review the deposition very well. So
Okay.
I don't know.
Your
Like I said,
testimony today is you now recall Mr. Fernandez telling you he was going to come visit you ahead of time.
Objection, Your Honor, improper impeachment.
I'll overrule it.
You can answer the question. Your testimony today is you now recall Mr. Fernandez gave you advance notice he was going to visit you.
Yeah, like I said, the more I think about it, thinking back, I think he did shoot me a text before he came, or shoot both of us texts in the chat, and both of us were working, or it was 3 of us in the chat. So he texted, and I think the other 2 were like, yeah, well, I'll be working, and where I work, I don't, have a set schedule. So I told him, hey, if you're in the area and we can work it out, we'll meet up.
Did you meet up with Mr. Fernandez when he was in Clinton in March
Yes.
2022?
Mhm.
Did he tell you anything about the reason that he was in Clinton, North Carolina?
The only thing that he said was he was going up north to see a friend. I don't remember. I mean, he didn't say any name or what state. I don't remember exactly what state it was up north, but that's the only thing he said was his reason for coming up north.
Did he have any conversation with you about the homicide of an individual by the name of Jared Bridegan,
No,
the father of his stepchildren?
no,
He didn't mention to you in March of 2022 that his stepchildren's father had been killed?
no. We didn't. That never came up in conversation.
And you have your deposition, you say you reviewed it, and for.
I didn't get a good chance to review it. No, I'm a family man. I got it really late in the evening. It was after 5 o'clock when I received it. We do dinner, we have homework. I've got 3 children that need attention, so I did not get a good chance to review it. No, ma'am.
Okay. Well, do you have it in front of you? I can refer you in court and counsel to page 19, lines
Yes, I can
21,
pull it up
going to
here.
page 20, line 5.
Your Honor, may we approach with the court reporter?
Yes. Page, just give us one moment. I think she said page 19, if you want to go to it.
Okay.
Sorry. Ever mentioned to you or discussed the fact that his wife's ex-husband had been murdered in their neighborhood?
Are you talking about when he came to visit March 13th, or I don't understand the question because
I'm talking
when I
about, sorry, I'm talking about any conversation you had with Mr. Fernandez. Did Mr. Fernandez ever discuss the death of Jared Bridegan with you?
he did, but it wasn't when he came to visit. The day he came to visit, it was not discussed.
Okay. When did he discuss the death of Jared Bridegan with you?
I couldn't tell you an exact date. I just know it was one day we were playing the video game. He mentioned it, and I think there were multiple people on the game. He said what had happened, and he logged off shortly after.
What did he say happened? As best you can recall, and I understand you can't quote him word for word.
Yeah, this is me paraphrasing, but I think he said something along the lines that he had been shot. That's all he said.
When Mr. Fernandez visited you in March of 2022, did he tell you that he had been at the police station giving them an interview?
No,
You had no conversation in March 2022 about anything to do with the murder of Jared Bridegan?
no, ma'am,
He didn't mention it at all?
at all.
Okay. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Give counsel just a moment to get on the screen for you.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you see me?
Yes, Cam 3.
Nice to meet you. My name's James Haw. I represent Mario Fernandez. How are you today?
I'm doing good.
Thank you for being here. Ms. Stifler asked you a bunch of questions about Mr. Fernandez. I believe you said you've known him since approximately 2010. Is that correct?
Yeah, as far as you can get to know somebody on a video game. That's,
So in 2022, you had communicated with him for over a decade.
on and off. We didn't play every day together. There was times where I didn't play. We would go. I think there was a span there where I didn't play with him for 5 years or so. I don't know. We kind of it was a span of we didn't play together, and then when Destiny 2 came out, the group got back together. So it was like I said, there was a span there where I didn't communicate with him at all.
Admittedly, I'm not a big video game guy anymore. I got 3 kids of my own. But when you guys are playing, is this like on a headset and you guys are in gaming chairs and you communicate through the headsets?
Correct.
Okay, and it's usually with a group of people playing these games?
Correct.
Okay. So after 10 years of playing, you wouldn't consider Mr. Fernandez a stranger to you?
I wouldn't say a stranger, no.
You were comfortable enough inviting him to stay at your home if he needed to?
Yes. I like I said, I knew he was in the area, and I offered out. I told him, don't even bother getting a hotel. If you can crash with me that night.
And I'm somewhat familiar with Clinton. It's not a tiny town. There's hotels and motels in the area, correct?
Correct.
And certainly, if you didn't feel comfortable with him staying at your home, you could have asked him to stay at a motel or a hotel.
Exactly. if I had any inkling or any sort of suspicion of anything, like this happening, I would never even invited him to my home.
Okay. But at the time, you had no concern at all. He stayed at your home and you guys went out to dinner that evening, correct?
We went out to dinner, came home. It got late in the evening, and I think he left early the next morning.
You guys went to Ruby Tuesdays?
Correct.
Okay. Had dinner, public place?
Yep.
Okay. I know Ms. Stifler asked you whether or not he talked about the death of Mr. Bridegan, but let's talk about some of the other stuff that he didn't talk about. Did he ask you to drive him about an hour away to Raleigh to go to the international airport so he could get out of town?
No.
Okay. Did he ask you to switch cars with him so he could try to evade law enforcement?
Not at all.
Okay. Did he ask you to give him a pile of cash so he could lay low?
No.
Okay. Seemed like just a regular guy hanging out with you at Ruby Tuesdays?
Yeah, just one of the dudes. Yeah.
Didn't say anything strange or alarming to you, did he?
Not at all.
Nothing in your conversation struck you as odd?
Not one bit. We talk sports, we talk video games, we talk construction. We both have small construction projects we're working on, so like I said, just a dude's dude. I mean, we sat at the bar, had a couple of drinks, went home, and that was the gist of it.
All right, Mr. Quayres. Well, I appreciate you taking time away from your family and your work. I don't have any further questions for you, sir. Have a good day.
Any follow-up?
Thank you.
Last question, Mr. Quayres, and then we'll let you get out of here, okay?
Mhm.
You just testified that you offered to let Mr. Fernandez stay at your house. You made that offer when he was with you in Clinton.
I mean, I don't know if there was maybe a small conversation beforehand. I don't like the day of or maybe the day before. I don't know. I just told him, hey man, you can crash in my place if you need. Blah blah blah.
Another conversation that may have happened that you didn't remember until today.
Well, no, these questions weren't asked before.
Okay. Your Honor, the witness may be excused.
All right. Nothing further for him from either side?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Quiros. You can log off.
Okay, thank you.
Members of the jury, you have one more? We need to switch back over really quick.
No, now on Zoom, we have a live witness, Your Honor.
Do you need the cart?
No?
Okay, all right. All right, yes. All right, well,
To that.
I'm not sure why it's doing that, but let me refresh it so we can make sure we get a good feed. Give me 1 second.
all right, well,
I don't know what that's about.
(2017), so almost but not quite 9 years.
And during the course of your experience in working for the ATF Forensic Biology Unit, have you been allowed to come into courts like this one and provide your expert opinion in the field of STR?
I don't know what it's calling itself downloading. Wait a minute.
Employed.
I've been with that laboratory since November of 2017, so almost but not quite 9 years.
And during the course of your experience,
Whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
okay, thank you. This way, sir.
That shouldn't be fixing something, y'all. I really hate this view of the courtroom. That's why I don't be no, I don't do certain stuff. Well, I don't do certain stuff, but wait a minute. Here y'all go.
You may proceed.
may please the court. Please introduce yourself to the jury.
My name is Glenn Farrig, F as in Frank, A-H-R-I-G.
How do you pronounce your last name?
Farrig.
Eric. Welcome to Jacksonville. Could you please let the jury know what you do for a living?
Good afternoon. I work as a forensic biologist at the Forensic Science Lab in Washington for the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, otherwise known as the ATF.
How long have you been so employed?
I've been with that laboratory since November of 2017, so almost but not quite 9 years.
And during the course of your experience in working for the ATF Forensic Biology Unit, have you been allowed to come into courts like this one and provide your expert opinion in the field of STR DNA technology and the statistical component to that?
Yes, I have previously testified to the work that I've done.
And Your Honor, this time I would tender, without going through his entire training and background, for potential voir dire as to this qualification.
Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. You may proceed.
So since you've been testifying as an expert in DNA, could you explain to the jury what deoxyribonucleic acid is and why it's important forensically?
So DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid, is something that's found within the cells of living organisms. You can think of it like a set of blueprints or instructions that tell a living thing how to develop and grow. It can be useful in a forensic context because there is some variation between individuals with regard to their DNA, so that we can use it to distinguish between individuals. It is fairly consistent throughout the body, so if your body produces it, it doesn't matter what type of sample it is. If the DNA comes from sweat or from skin or from bones or from teeth, the DNA profile is expected to be consistent throughout an individual. The DNA is also persistent over time, so that if we test DNA from an item from a crime scene, and then months or years down the road we test DNA from an individual and do a comparison, we expect that DNA to retain its properties over time.
In other words, your DNA doesn't morph as you age.
Right, your DNA is not expected to change with respect to the markers that we test and the profiles that we obtain as you age.
So the forensic differences that you look at to distinguish between individuals, are those locations on the DNA molecule, do they code for things like hair color, eye color, things like that?
We do a type of testing that's referred to as STR testing. STR stands for short tandem repeats. These are sections of DNA that do not code for physical characteristics.
So how, you briefly mentioned that DNA can be found in all of your cells. How is it left behind at a forensic scene? You mentioned some of those things, but just explain how it's left behind.
There can be a couple of factors that determine how exactly a DNA profile is left. There's a phenomenon which we would refer to as touch DNA, the idea that someone can touch or handle an object, and without saying with absolute certainty where the source of that DNA is from, it's possible that there are material from the skin cells that could be deposited. There could be secretions from the skin layers that could be deposited. There could be, if somebody has habits of touching their face or touching the area around their mouth, DNA could be moved around. But the idea is, however the DNA arrives and is deposited on an item, there is this concept of touch DNA where something could simply be handled or touched and leave but not behind enough material that somebody could come behind and test that item and get a DNA profile.
So in addition to touch DNA, is leaving your blood behind, leaving your spit behind, leaving your semen behind, do things like that, is that how DNA can be left behind in a scene?
Yes, we can also test bulk fluids, relatively large deposits or stains that could also have DNA that can be detected and characterized and compared.
Is it fair to say that what you refer to as bulk fluid, that contains more DNA molecules than touch DNA can?
In general, I would say so, that the amounts of DNA that might be expected with something like blood or saliva would be generally higher with respect to samples that we would characterize as a touch or a trace sample. But that's speaking generally. That's not to guarantee that, sample to sample, there's always variation.
Is DNA fragile, meaning that, like, just because someone touches something, does that automatically mean that they leave their DNA behind?
I can only speak to what is recovered when we do our testing, the results that we get. So just because if we knew for certain that someone did handle an item, it's not necessarily guaranteed that we would be able to test that item and recover results that would be consistent with that individual.
Do elements like heat, dirt, water potentially destroy or wipe away DNA?
There are a variety of factors that can influence whether or not DNA is damaged. So DNA can be what we call degraded, which is damaged over time. So things like heat, moisture, mold, bacteria, they can damage the DNA, which can impact and negatively influence our ability to get DNA profiles. And then DNA can be lost. It can be wiped or washed away.
So when you do your testing, when you have unknown samples and then known samples. Did you do both of those types of testing in this case?
Yes, an unknown sample would be a type of sample where if a DNA profile is recovered, the origin of that profile is unknown. So any type of crime scene evidence, something like a swab from a firearm, a swab from a vehicle, those types of things are what we would characterize as unknown or questioned or evidence items. And we contrast that with reference samples or known samples. And these are samples that are taken directly from an individual and are what represent their known reference profile. Those generally come in the form of an oral or a buccal swab. BUCCAL is a buccal swab, or sometimes we will receive blood samples where they'll draw a sample of someone's blood and deposit it on a card.
And so what is commonly done, and you do in this case, is you have these known or reference samples, and then if you develop DNA on one of these unknown samples, you compare the two to see if they are consistent.
Correct. That is the ultimate aim in trying to do a forensic DNA analysis, is we want to test the questioned evidence items and try to obtain whatever DNA results we can. There's a point at which we will determine if we do get a DNA profile, does it meet our lab's criteria to be suitable for comparison to references or not suitable for comparison to references. If we do have unknown profiles that are suitable for comparison, then we will take any known reference samples that we have and we will compare the profiles of those individuals to the unknown profiles and see if we can make determinations supporting either inclusion or exclusion of the individual as a contributor.
Is it common in your training experience to examine an unknown item and not find any DNA at all?
It is possible that we would test an unknown item, and some of the conclusions we may draw is one of the lab steps. We will estimate how much human DNA is present in the sample, and sometimes we do not detect any amount of human DNA present, and we would characterize that as no DNA detected. There are times where we might test a sample and there may or may not be an indication of human DNA present, but when we do the last step in our process and process the sample on the detection instrument, we get no detected data, and we would report that as no results. So those are some of the conclusions we might reach where we test a sample and we don't actually obtain DNA results.
And is it common in your training experience to actually find some amount of DNA, but that DNA is just not suitable for inclusion or exclusion?
Right, that is one type of conclusion we might reach as well. We might develop DNA results and observe a profile, but the profile may not meet our criteria to be suitable for comparison. So we'll make that decision. The profile is either determined to be suitable for comparison, it might be determined to be not suitable for comparison, and some profiles, occasionally with mixture samples, a mixture is a DNA profile that appears to come from more than one person, we may separate that into two separate components, which we would refer to as a major and a minor component. And within the context of a mixture at our laboratory, the major component is the part that is suitable for comparison. The minor part is the part that's not suitable for comparison.
Thank you for that explanation. Did you bring your file and review your reports in this case?
I did review the file and my reports. I have brought some selections of some copied materials in case I might need to refer to something.
I'm going to try to go through this fast. We're not going to ask you everything that you did, so just kind of follow my lead and we'll get through this. The most important question, I guess, for the state of Florida versus Mario Fernandez is, during the course of your comparison, did you find any of Mario Fernandez's DNA on any of the unknown samples that you tested?
We would never say with any certainty that we found someone's DNA on an item or that a person is definitely a contributor. What we would describe our results as is there support for inclusion of this person as a possible contributor? And to summarize the results from this case with respect to Mr. Fernandez-Saldana, of the unknown profiles that had components or were entirely suitable for comparison, there was no support for inclusion of Mr. Fernandez-Saldana as a possible contributor to the components that were suitable for comparison.
Same question with regard to Shanna Gardner. There was no inclusion of anything that you tested of her.
Same characterization with respect to the comparisons to Ms. Gardner. There was no support for inclusion of Ms. Gardner as a possible contributor to the suitable components of profiles that were suitable for comparison.
Or any of the police officers that you got known samples for?
Correct. We received a number of elimination samples from various law enforcement officials, and there was no support for inclusion of any of those individuals to any of the suitable components of profiles that were suitable for comparison.
Or Justin Bridegan, the brother of Jared Bridegan, no inclusion there?
There was no support for inclusion of Justin Bridegan to any of those profile components that were suitable for comparison.
Two more names, Jeremy Ordway and Jimmy Jones. Same question.
I know we received a reference sample from Mr. Ordway. I'm not sure about Mr. Jones. Could you refer to an exhibit number?
Yeah. It may take me a second. We'll go on to another part, and my co-counsel can find that.
I can answer with respect to Mr. Ordway that there was no support for inclusion of Mr. Ordway as a contributor to any of the profile components that were suitable for comparison.
So, of all the items, and there were many items you tested that did not either have enough DNA or had no DNA. Is that fair?
So some of the items may have been described as no DNA detected, which is where when we do that step where we estimate how much human DNA is in a sample, we did not have any detectable level of human DNA. There were some samples that fit that description. There were also some samples where we processed those samples on the detection instrument and there was no detectable signal, so those were no results.
So now we're going to get to the things where we do find matches. Beginning first, I'm going to talk about the shell casings number 3 and shell casings number 4. Did you find that there was an inclusion with regard to the victim, in this case, Jared Bridegan?
So those items in question, these are 2 10-millimeter cartridge cases recovered from the scene, assigned lab exhibits 3 and 4. We will sample cartridge cases in pairs on occasion, which is what was done in this case. So lab exhibits 3 and 4 were sampled together. That resulted in lab exhibit 3.1. That sample was processed and there was a profile obtained from exhibit 3.1, consistent with being a male DNA profile, consistent with a single contributor. Upon comparison to the reference samples in this case, there was support for inclusion of Jared Bridegan as a possible contributor to that DNA profile.
Was there a statistical component that you would assign to show, to give the jury an idea of how forensically important that inclusion was?
So when we report any conclusion as a result of a comparison that is anything other than exclusion, we will report a statistic that is known as a likelihood ratio. A likelihood ratio is a value that can give weight or give support to either inclusion or exclusion of an individual. It is an assessment of how probable the evidence profile is under different possible explanations. One explanation is what we call the inclusionary hypothesis, and this is where we assume that the person we're comparing is a contributor to the profile. The other explanation is what we call the exclusionary hypothesis. This is where we propose that the person of interest is not a contributor, that other unrelated, unknown individuals could be the contributor. So when we do the comparison between Jared Bridegan and Exhibit 3.1, the likelihood ratio value is that it is at least 1 trillion times more likely to observe the evidence profile from Exhibit 3.1 if Jared Bridegan is the contributor than if an unknown, unrelated individual is the contributor.
I'm showing you what's been entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 94. You can see on your screen, State's Exhibit 88C and 88D. You see those? I know they're all bunched together, beginning first with 94. This has been introduced into evidence as the victim's blood spot card. Is that where you developed the full profile from Jared Bridegan? If it's easier for me to just show it to you the whole.
Maybe if I look at it myself, yes.
On the why I'm saving steps. Sitting all day.
So it may be useful at this juncture to point out that at our laboratory, as the forensic biologist, I won't necessarily do all the work in the case myself. We do have lab specialists that assist us with laboratory tasks, and sometimes examiners will do various laboratory tasks for each other. I am the one who's responsible for all the analysis of the data and the reporting. And I bring that up because I see this exhibit, which is ATF and also Lab Exhibit 18, which is the reference sample from Jared Bridegan. This is not a sample that I actually received myself, but I do see the handwritten initials of the lab specialist that did process this item.
Okay, and then showing you 88C and 88D, the shell casings. Now, my understanding is those shell casings went through a process to extract DNA different from the normal swabbing. Is that true?
That is correct. At our laboratory, we used a specialized sampling technique known as the rinse and swab technique to recover DNA from fired cartridge cases. It is a technique that we developed in-house, and we published our research in a peer-reviewed research journal. As I look at these evidence packages, I see the lab specialist's handwritten annotation indicating these are lab exhibits 1 and 4 that correspond to 2 of the 10-millimeter cartridge cases.
Thank you, sir. So the jury has already seen the crime scene photos, and there's no reason to publish those again. But you'll have to kind of stay with me for this analogy. So the jury saw pictures of the deceased Jared Bridegan on the ground. He was bleeding heavily. They heard testimony that the victim was moved during the course of CPR. In other words, first responders got to the victim who was face down. They rolled him over. They performed vigorous CPR, and the victim was bleeding everywhere. They also saw that these shell casings were all collected in the immediate vicinity of the victim, meaning within inches to a few feet away from the victim. Is the finding of the victim's DNA on these shell casings consistent with the DNA being deposited on the shell casings after those shell casings had been fired and left onto the ground where Mr. Bridegan was found and CPR was performed upon him? Understand my question?
I heard your description. I don't know what the question is. I'm sorry.
Question is it consistent with your training and experience that the victim's DNA could have been transferred onto the shell casings after they were expelled from the firearm, because the victim who was moving around, bleeding, performing CPR, and the collection of the shell cases all happened in the same area? Is that consistent with your training experience?
I have to be careful how I answer this. What you're describing is what we refer to as activity, which is how we would describe how DNA is actually deposited on items. I don't really have a technique or a method to try and evaluate specific activities as far as trying to determine exactly how a DNA deposition could have occurred. What I can say, which is what is seen in research studies, which I've observed in my own training and in creating training samples for others and in doing my own research, is that when we have, controlled studies where a volunteer will handle or come into direct contact with an item, and then we test that item, we do obtain results that are consistent with an individual coming into direct contact with an item. As far as can I extend that to say with any certainty whether endorsing your specific scenario that you've described, I cannot do that. I do not have a method to do that.
I appreciate that because you're a scientist. My question is not whether that's how the DNA got there, just that is within the scientifical probabilities of the world that yes, if a bleeding victim and shell casings are all rolling around the ground, there could be some transfer there, possibly.
I will say in general, if an individual comes into direct contact with an item, it is possible to test an item and get results consistent with that individual.
Thank you, I appreciate that. So now we'll get to, I guess, the meat of it, which is, did you find any DNA consistent with the known reference sample of Henry Tenen?
There were a number of questioned evidence items that were tested that yielded results that were suitable for comparison. And on comparison to Mr. Tenen's reference sample, there was support for inclusion of Mr. Tenen as a possible contributor to some of the evidence items.
Turning to the swab taken from the inner rim of the tire, was that consistent with Mr. Tenen? And could you explain to the jury your statistical analysis on number 11, the swab from the inside of the rim?
So lab exhibit 11 refers to the swab from the inner rim of the tire, and the cutting of that swab and the sample that we generated is lab exhibit 11.1. There was a DNA profile obtained from exhibit 11.1. That was a partial DNA profile consistent with at least 2 contributors. This was further resolved into a major and minor component. The major component was a partial DNA profile consistent with a single contributor. The minor component was not suitable for comparison. Upon comparison of Mr. Tenen's profile, there was support for inclusion of Mr. Tenen as a possible contributor to the major component of exhibit 11.1.
What was the statistical inclusion?
The likelihood ratio value for that comparison was that it was 1.38 million times more likely to observe the DNA profile from exhibit 11.1 if Mr. Tenen were a contributor with an unknown unrelated individual than if it came from 2 unrelated unknown individuals.
Okay, turn to the swab of the keys, the silver key that you took. Did you include Henry Tenen as a possible contributor to that silver key swab, number 30?
Lab exhibit 30 was the silver truck key, the sample that we took and generated the profile from, lab exhibit 30.1. That was characterized as a DNA profile consistent with 2 contributors with at least 1 male present, and that was suitable for comparison. Upon comparison with Mr. Tenen's reference sample, there was support for inclusion of Mr. Tenen as a possible contributor to that profile. The likelihood ratio was that it was at least 1 trillion times more likely to observe the DNA profile from exhibit 30.1 if Mr. Tenen was a contributor with an unknown unrelated individual than if it came from 2 unrelated unknown individuals.
Turning to 33.4, the cutting from the steering wheel, were you able to include Henry Tenen as a contributor to that?
Lab exhibit 33.4 corresponds to a swab from the steering wheel of a pickup truck. That profile was a partial profile consistent with 1 individual. That was suitable for comparison. Upon comparison to Mr. Tenen's reference sample, there was support for inclusion of Mr. Tenen. The likelihood ratio was that the DNA profile is at least 1 trillion times more likely if it originated from Henry Tenen than if it originated from an unknown, unrelated individual.
We'll do the same process. May please.
Yes, throughout.
Thank you. States Exhibit 9, we'll start first with States Exhibit 95. Is this the reference sample from Mr. Henry Tenen that you or your fellow lab people worked on?
This sample I did initial myself, and I see our lab inscription and lab number. This is Exhibit 26, the reference sample from Henry Tenen.
Okay, and that's going to be States Exhibit 95. All right, States Exhibit 92 is going to be the swab from the inside rim of the tire.
All right, I see the handwritten inscription from the lab specialist who assisted with this case. This is Lab Exhibit 11, the swab taken from the inner rim of the tire.
States Exhibit 193 is going to be the swab from the silver key.
I see the handwritten annotation from the lab specialist, and this is Exhibit 30, the swab from the silver Ford truck key.
State's Exhibit 169 is going to be the swab from the steering wheel.
I see my handwritten information. This is Exhibit 33, 4 of 13. There were 13 swabs submitted as part of Exhibit 33, and this is number 4 of 13, which corresponds to the swab of the steering wheel.
Sir, I appreciate your testimony. I have no further questions at this time.
Thank you. Cross?
Just briefly, Your Honor, may I do it from defense table?
It's fine.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I didn't catch, where did you come in from?
I work at the Forensic Science Lab, Washington, which is located in Maryland, just outside D.C.
You flew in today, sir?
I came in yesterday afternoon.
Welcome, Jacksonville. I just want to make sure the jury's clear. You found nothing to include Mario Fernandez, is that correct?
Of the profiles that were suitable for comparison, there was no support for inclusion of Mr. Fernandez-Saldana as a possible contributor to any of those profile components suitable for comparison.
Thank you, sir. I have no further questions.
All right. Any follow-up?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. May the witness be excused.
You may.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Members of the jury, that will be the last witness of the day. I ask that you leave your notepads on your chair. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Please follow the communication rules.
Okay, so we got through day 3 of our Jared Bridegan case. I don't know, nothing that they said today really proved anything for, that was really like negative towards my guy, Mario. So, I mean, it's a conspiracy, so I guess we gotta put stuff together as we go along. But right now, I don't know why Henry would do it. Maybe the thing is that Shayna skipped over Mario and she had access to Henry just like Mario did, and maybe she asked them to do it. I don't know if that's the play, because they definitely don't give two about Henry. They done threw Henry right up under the bus. So even if Henry wanted to go on trial, they done threw Henry up under the bus in this trial. It kind of reminds me of Alicia Andrews. When she went on trial, she kind of subliminally, without saying it, put the boys up under, they were actually put up under where they, like thrown up under the bus for her defense. I don't know, I just had a brain fart. Okay, so yeah, as I stated, tomorrow morning we will start off with LC. Only because I know it's about to go to, I want to see the rebuttal witness by the state. I want to see closing arguments. So, I mean, at least the trial didn't last 8 weeks. That's what I can tell you. So, our plan, I am going to get started a little early on because we got some of day 16 to finish today's. So I will get started a tad bit early. I'm thinking it's probably going to be maybe about 4:30. So that'll be for my East Coast people. That'll be about 7:30 y'all time. So we can get through as much testimony before day 17 starts tomorrow. There's been rumors in the air that they probably will Rumors in the air that they probably, the defense probably gonna arrest them all. What is this that you said, drunkie? Wait a minute. Thank you so much, Susie. You just say, Gabber, the blabber. Who the F is? It's Henry. Henry is the alleged shooter. I know. I ate my tacos too. Oh man, I'm like super full. Like I'm about to be busted and disgusted. Yeah, you got the name right. I don't know what drunkie talking about. Drunkie said, "Who the fuck is Henry?" Oh my goodness. Not showing my taco. Oh, somebody. Oh yeah, yeah. I had tacos tonight too. Oh my goodness. And they were good too. I had the little cheese shells. You say you not showing? Oh man. Yeah, I did make tacos, drunkie. Oh gosh, and I ate them too. Oh my goodness. I had 3 of them. I was behind the scenes crunching. Thank you so much. Yes, next time who have to put you in on the taco bid. And I make them I make chicken tacos, like with ground chicken, so I don't use ground beef. And I'm telling y'all, the key to making tacos, I'm about to give y'all the secret. Okay? Y'all waiting? Let me give y'all the secret. So when you make your tacos, I want you to make sure that you ground your meat. Now, I'm not going to get a secret to y'all no more. Now, this is the one time y'all get it. This is a secret because most people don't know this. So after you cook your meat, you get your taco season, 1 pound of meat. You get your 1 packet of the taco season. You take your taco season, right? You know how I be telling you like to add water and stuff? Don't add no water. Listen to me, what I'm telling you. Go ahead and put your seasoning in your ground beef or your ground chicken or whatever you cooking. And then after you finish doing that, you get you some salsa, like from Great Value or, the chunky salsa. I want you to take, maybe, the salsa thing is about this big, y'all. I want you to take about this much and stir it in your tacos and stir it around. If you talk about having a good time, that's how you have a good time with your tacos. I'm trying to tell you. And it provides you with all your little bell peppers and your onions. If you like salsa. If you don't like salsa, then don't do it. Okay? So I done put y'all together. And now y'all know how to make some good tacos, some good taco meat. Yeah, so there you go. I'm telling you. Next on the list gonna be how to make your spaghetti. I'm gonna hook y'all up with spaghetti. You already learned how to make white chili. So I'm gonna get y'all together. We gonna have us some recipe swapping. Oh man, I'm telling you, you talk about a good time. The tacos don't be dry. The salsa kind of gives them a little bit of extra flavor. You don't have to be buying all them different packets. I don't even put seasoning salt or anything on my meat before I put all that stuff on there because you don't want them to be too salty. Okay? Yeah, Gabber. Yeah, that's how you do it. Yeah, don't be adding that. I don't know why they have you adding 3/4 cups of water with your taco seasoning. I never do. I'm like, why? I just put it on there and then like I said, I'll take me some salsa and I'll put that salsa in there and let it cook for additional 2 to 3 minutes. Be so good, make you want to slap your mama. Lee, we got the certified chef up in the house. Oh shoot. Well, Lee, you got to give us some secrets. Yeah, I'm telling y'all, I'm borderline Mexican. In my next life, I will be a Mexican, underlay. Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm gonna come out the one doing. I'm gonna be Mexican in my next life, boo. Because all I like is Mexican food. I like spicy food, so it is for me. So yes, there we go. Oh man. You never add water to yours? I think a lot of people I just didn't know how many people a bit of wait a minute. Billy, you gonna have to approach the bench. What do you talk about some milk? What did you put milk in? Drunky, get Billy. Milk. Are we talking about the same thing in tacos? That's like putting raisins in what's that potato salad? What y'all say? Raisins and what? I know. She said milk. What is the milk for? What the milk go in? It go in with the seasoning? Holy moly. Yeah, drunky. Drunky, get her to. What she putting the raisins in the potato salad? What she putting the raisins in? Oh God. And then add the taco. She putting the raisins in the potato salad. Billy, is you over there putting raisins in the potato salad? Milk. I don't even know what that would give to milk. I don't know. I don't know what that would do. Oh God. I'm like, I got tears in my eyes. Milk. Oh, holy moly. Holy moly. Wow. Oh, Weezers. Okay, well, I mean, I guess, if you want to use milk, do it at your own discretion. I have nothing to say about milk because I've never tried the milk one. Oh, no, see. Aw. No, boo. Is it today, Sin? Or is it over the weekend? 37 years. Wow. Billy said we missing out. Oh, okay. Oh, well, congratulations. That's a long time. Wow. Even with that, being the case where, he has transitioned, that's a long time. Well, I definitely hope you and your son, y'all do it up and enjoy yourself and you going out to your Oh, okay, nice. That's good that y'all keep that tradition going, and your son is able to celebrate that with you. That is so awesome. That is so awesome. Well, guys, we will be in early in the morning. If you're going over to Crime Club, go enjoy yourself in Crime Club. I am going to go. Yeah, I'm going to go do something. I don't know. I didn't already eat, so I'm hoping I don't go to sleep. But all right, guys. Thank you guys for hanging in here. I'm going to put our outro song, and I will see y'all at the top of the morning for my East Coast. I'm going to have to call my East Coast my best coast people tomorrow, baby. Because it's going to be bright and early for y'all. All right, guys.
week's absent, you know the courtroom lights go bright. Trials running long, but the family's here every night. Mars on patrol, shadows showing out. This little YouTube corner's what community's about. Therapist you know, steady holding down the floor. Behind the scenes magician, keeping peace like never before. A banner king, a rule keeper too. Every channel dreams of a mind like you. Jason walks in and the ladies lose control. Down to earth king with the warmest soul. Film freaks, kindness, man, it's always on display. Fair and sweet and cheering folks along the way. And Maria from SA keeps the laughter rolling free. Joking, shining, keeping spirits where they need to be. We're a family in the chat, side by side through every trial. Sweet Pea leads the way with that fire and that smile. We debate, we laugh, we lift each other higher. This courtroom crew is everything we admire. Yeah, no matter what the case so far, we're forever taken to trial. Take it to trial. Pretty brown girl, she'll tell you what's true. Sharp as a gavel, funniest in the room. Dr. Rachel pops in while she's busy running lines. Speaks her mind every time, cuts through like a knife. And Paula brings the energy, jokes flying fast. Helping Sweet Pea backstage, making every stream last. Then Zach strolls and causing chaos just for fun. The resident cheater, but we love him, everyone. Here comes Maddie, handsome, quick with the line. A comedy sniper with the perfect timing. And Lynn with the updates, always loyal, always tuned. If true crime news drops, he brings it to the room. We're a family in the chat, side by side through every trial. Sweet Pea leads the way with that fire and that smile. We debate, we laugh, we lift each other higher. This courtroom crew is everything we admire. Yeah, no matter what the case so far, we're forever taken to trial. Take it to trial. Shamrock keeps us trending, replay queen. Holding down the algorithm like a machine. SD's razor sharp, loyal through and through. And yeah, she adores Jason, nothing new. Drunky the bear with the white claws way, managing volunteers like she runs the whole land. Cynthia brings inside what takes sharp and steady. Donna keeps it real, 911 and always ready. Tilly Bird's the fat queen, receipts on tap. Easy's new, but she blends right into the pack. Tennessee, hard-lived, try support her with pride. Melly shows up for family for cooking for his dog. A steady carrying presence through the courtroom fog. And Brooklyn in the house, always bringing that spark. Lighting up the chat like a shout in the dark. Baka loves her gram, speaks truth when it's time. Micrograms with metaphors straight up sublime. Barbara biggest supporter, heart kind and vast. Looking for missing kids, hope to truly last. Only fan from Singapore, flag name but sweet. Still shows up with love every time he takes a seat. And even the part-timers keep this place alive. Curvy Hill, Irish Amy, Capri Law, Hellcat, our tribe. Hearts wide open, stories shared, holding space because we care. From every corner of the world we climb to spend these nights together, one trial at a time. We're a family in the chat, side by side through every trial. Sweet Pea leads the way with that fire and that smile. Mods and shadows, yeah, this love is something rare. A courtroom crew with hearts beyond compare. No matter what the case or file, we're forever taken to trial. To Sweet Pea in the mouth and the chat we adore. This isn't just a channel, it's a family. And we couldn't ask for more.